In the skies over Germany on December 20th, 1943, amid the thunder of anti-aircraft fire and the roar of engines, an American bomber pilot named Charlie Brown fought for survival. His B-17 Flying Fortress, christened Ye Old Pub, had just completed a daring raid on a factory in Bremen, dropping its payload through a storm of flak and enemy fighters. But the cost was brutal. 2 engines were dead, the tail was riddled with holes, the nose shattered, and systems failing left and right. Inside, his crew of 10 men battled chaos, one already lost to a cannon shell, his body slumped in the turret. The remaining 9, many wounded and freezing in the thin air, clung to life as Charlie nursed the crippled bird toward home. From below, a German ace named Franz Stigler spotted the wounded giant. Piloting his sleek Messerschmitt Bf 109, Franz had already claimed 2 B-17s that day. One more kill would earn him the coveted Knight's Cross, a Nazi honor that promised prestige and perhaps a ticket out of the front lines. He closed in, guns armed, ready to finish the job. But as he pulled alongside, peering through the gaps in the fuselage, he saw the desperation, the bloodied crew tending to each other like brothers in a sinking ship. In that moment, Franz recalled the words of his commander, Gustav Rodel, a stern but principled leader of Jägerschwader 27. Rodel had drilled into his pilots a code of honor, declaring that shooting a man in a parachute was murder, and he'd personally execute anyone who did. To Franz, this battered bomber was no different. Helpless prey, not a fair fight. Defying orders that could cost him his life before a firing squad, he chose mercy. He signaled Charlie to land in Germany or divert to neutral Sweden for aid, but when they pressed on, Franz escorted them through the flak zones, shielding them until they reached the North Sea. With a final salute, he peeled away, his secret buried deep. Back at RAF Seething in England, Ye Old Pub touched down in a miracle of engineering and grit. Ground crews marveled at the wreckage, declaring it a wonder it flew at all. Charlie reported the encounter to his superiors. A German fighter had spared them, even guided them to safety. The response was swift and cold. Keep it quiet. Don't whisper it to the crew or fellow pilots. In the propaganda war, Germans were monsters, not men capable of compassion. Spreading tales of mercy could soften resolve, breed doubt. So Charlie sealed his lips, finished his tour with more harrowing missions, and returned to West Virginia. He built a new life, college, rejoining the Air Force in 1949, serving until 1965 as a colonel. Later, he ventured into the State Department, postings in Laos and Vietnam, retiring in 1972 to Miami as an inventor. Yet the war's shadows lingered. His daughter remembered his nightmares, jolting awake in sweats, haunted by flak bursts and that enigmatic German face in the cockpit. Franz, too, guarded his silence. Landing near Bremen, he told no one, knowing his act was treason under Nazi law, punishable by death. He flew on, shifting to the revolutionary Me-262 jet fighter as Germany crumbled. Surviving the Reich's fall, the occupation's chaos, he immigrated to Canada in 1953, married, and thrived as a businessman in Vancouver. But the memory gnawed. That shattered B-17, the young pilot's eyes meeting his. After that day, Franz's hunger for kills faded. He'd seen enough destruction, lost his brother Augie early in the war to night fighting. The encounter marked a turning point, a quiet rebellion against the machine of hate. For 47 years, the two men carried their shared ghost in isolation, a 10-minute dance in the clouds that reshaped their souls. Then, in 1986, at Boeing's 50th anniversary celebration for the B-17 in Seattle, fate stirred. Charlie, now 64, shared his story amid old warriors. Questions poured in. Why hadn't he sought the German? Did he survive? Franz, the lone Luftwaffe veteran there, had quietly inquired about the bomber's fate through veteran networks, but found nothing. Inspired, Charlie launched his quest, scouring Air Force archives, West German records, and historical offices. Dead ends piled up, records lost in war's rubble, divided Germany's chaos, Soviet captures, 4 years of letters, calls, frustration. In 1989, he pivoted, publishing a detailed account in a combat pilot's newsletter, describing the date, markings, the salute. In Vancouver, 74-year-old Franz spotted the letter. Every detail matched. Heart racing, he penned a reply. I was the one. On January 18, 1990, Charlie opened the envelope from Canada. Their first call confirmed it all. Franz describing his plane, the damage he'd witnessed. He explained Rodel's code, how it echoed in his mind, treating the crew as defenseless as parachutists. Charlie's nightmares eased, a weight lifted after nearly 5 decades. For Franz, hearing they survived, 9 men alive because of his choice, brought closure to a war that stole so much. 6 months later, in Seattle, they met. No dramatic sprint, but a profound embrace, tears shared in private. Franz met the surviving crew, their families, grandchildren who owed existence to one man's defiance. Charlie introduced Franz as a brother, and the bond ignited. For 18 years, they were inseparable, weekly calls, travels across America, sharing their tale at air shows and gatherings. Franz gifted Charlie a book inscribed, "In 1940, I lost my only brother as a night fighter. Thanks, Charlie." Your brother, Franz. They faced backlash, some Germans branding Franz a traitor, Canadians shunning him as a Nazi. But labels faded, war's divisions irrelevant. What mattered was that December day, humanity triumphing over orders. In 2008, Franz passed in Vancouver at 92, followed 8 months later by Charlie in Miami at 86. As if the thread binding them couldn't stretch alone. Their story endured, honored late with awards. Charlie receiving the Air Force Cross, his crew Silver Star. It inspired the bestseller A Higher Call, capturing every verified detail amid history's gaps. Luftwaffe records scattered or destroyed. Variations in retellings emerged, some inflating years or details for drama, but the core held true, a testament to chivalry in the skies, a code shared by aces like Franz, who forfeited his Knight's Cross for honor. Today, their legacy echoes in culture, the heavy metal band Sabaton immortalizing it in No Bullets Fly, lyrics hailing honor-bound, he spared their lives. Animated videos and online discussions, from Reddit to X, debate its lessons in modern conflicts, reminding us that even in uniform, enemies can see shared humanity. This isn't just a war yarn, it's a beacon, proving mercy can outlast bombs and foes can forge unbreakable brotherhood.